Oscars right around the corner, the Academy has been doing everything they can to ban some of the celebrities from attending the event so this year's event runs more smoothly. I'm Stacey Taylor and today I'm counting down the top 10 celebrities banned from the 2023 Oscars Part 2. So who do you think will be banned from attending this year's ceremony? And let us know in the comments below. So starting off our list today at number 10, we have Rachel Zegler. Sometimes it's probably better to stay quiet about certain issues, and that was definitely the case when it comes to Rachel Zegler. So if you don't recall, just before last year's ceremony, Rachel would find herself not being invited to the show, and in the process she went on to shade the Academy for it. Eventually the Academy wanted to make things right, so they asked her to join presenter Jacob Elordi on the stage. However, once she got on the stage, she decided to shade the Academy once more by saying dreams do come true really fast. Her comment was definitely a reference to her post that she made just a week before the show when she responded to a fan who said, "Can't wait to see what you'll be wearing to the Oscars." Rachel then responded by saying, "I'm not invited, so sweatpants and my boyfriend's flannel." After an outcry spread across social media, the actor would explain that she tried every method possible to score a ticket, but she was unsuccessful. Well, at least she did make it to the show, but that will probably be the last show she can attend for a while. Number 9, Chris Rock. You know, Chris Rock probably should have scored himself a ticket to this year's Oscar ceremony if he just did one thing: be a better man and let everything in the past remain in the past. After a year of remaining silent about the incident that occurred in 2022, he has finally opened up about the incident, and I'm going to be honest, his comments should have come right away. Coming a complete year after the incident occurred is uncalled for and just a little bit childish, especially since he's chosen to take the high road for so long, and now everything just seems a little too calculated and not right. And if the Oscars wants to eliminate any drama from this year's show, they should be asking Chris Rock not to attend. In preparation for Chris Rock's upcoming special on Netflix, the comedian is set to talk about the incident that dominated much of the headlines last year. According to Wall Street Journal, the comedian's references how much it hurt, and he also pokes fun at Will Smith when he quipped, even in animated movies, "I'm a zebra and he's an effing shark." But to make fun of the incident isn't really funny, and Will had to even go through therapy, so this just isn't okay, and Chris should honestly just do better. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 8, Russell Crowe. Even though Russell Crowe is an Oscar-winning actor, director, and musician, we probably won't be seeing him at this year's Grammys ceremony. And it's not really surprising, as Russell's temper has made more than a few headlines over the years, and since nobody really knows if the actor can truly behave himself, as the actor's temper has landed him in hot water, he ended up getting a felony charge for it. So Russell's temper has had a reputation for years, as he has a tendency to take things a little too far, and his reputation has now earned him a reputation as an actor who is difficult to work with. So back in 2004, Russell's behavior would completely be out of hand after he got riled up in a hotel lobby, and he ended up injuring a clerk behind the lobby desk. Then in 2016, Azealia Banks even filed a police report accusing Russell's violence to be excessive, as he once spit on her. And back in 2002, he even shoved Malcolm Gary against a wall and cursed him out because of his acceptance speech being cut too short. So why would the Academy risk inviting someone who could cause another Chris Rock and Will Smith altercation? Number 7, Ben Affleck. Well, it's definitely not the Academy banning Ben Affleck from the ceremony this year, but it's most likely Jennifer Lopez trying to protect her husband from any more gloomy memes. As let's not forget, when we all sat down to watch the Grammys a couple weeks ago, Ben was captured a couple times on camera looking miserable. And then when we thought it couldn't get any worse, we then all saw J-Lo snap at her husband out of nowhere. But honestly, the whole show just looked like Ben was dragged to a work thing with his wife, and he truly had no interest in attending the event whatsoever. Now, with the Oscars just around the corner, J-Lo definitely doesn't want any more people questioning her and Ben's relationship. So she's probably gonna make sure Ben stays at home and watches the ceremony in his sweatpants for this moment, as the star just appears sad and J-Lo is done with the misinterpretation. Number 6, Sean Penn. When Sean Penn decided to get a little political last year at the Grammys, it kinda has him in a hot seat, as he promised promised to boycott the Academy if the Ukrainian president wasn't part of the show's program. But this hasn't been the actor's first controversial moment, as back in 2022 he doubled down on his comments that made fun of feminine men. When he sat down in an interview with The Independent, he would tell the newspaper, "I am in the club that believes that men in American culture have been widely feminized. I don't think that being a brute or having insensitivity or disrespect for women is anything to do with masculinity, or ever did. But I don't think in order to be fair to women, we should become them." When Sean was then asked to clarify his comments, he would then say, "I think men have, in my view, become quite feminized. I have these strong women in my life who do not take masculinity as a sign of oppression towards them. And with how the world is changing, the Academy just shouldn't allow people who don't adapt to change and accept others for who they are." Number 5. Morgan Freeman. In 2018, it would be brought to light that a young production assistant thought she had landed the job of her dreams when in the summer of 2015, she started working on Going in Style, a bank heist comedy starring Morgan Freeman. But the job then quickly developed into several months of harassment. She then later told CNN that Morgan subjected her to unwanted touching in comments about her figure and clothes on a near daily basis. She also claimed that Morgan constantly would rest his hands on her lower back or rub her lower back, and in one incident he even tried to pull up her skirt. And it said that Morgan's inappropriate behavior was not limited to that one movie set, because according to sources who spoke with CNN, a woman who was a senior member of the production staff of the movie Now You See Me in 2012 claimed that her and her female assistant on numerous occasions were approached by Morgan, who solicited comments about their bodies. And considering what happened last year, the Academy definitely wants a show that's quiet and no one really talks about, so we probably won't be seeing Morgan Freeman there this year. Number 4. Ricky Gervais. It's clear that Ricky Gervais will never be a host for the Oscars, as he's too much of a risk, even with the comedian himself revealing that he would never host the esteemed film award show because he wouldn't be allowed to do what he wanted. Now, Ricky has hosted the Golden Globes 5 times now, but he knows the rules would be very different for the Oscars, and he's just not interested in doing so, as he knows he would find himself being cancelled halfway through the show like other celebrities have. He continued to go on to say, "They'd never let me do what I wanted. That's why the Globes got me. They said I can write my own jokes, say what I want, no rehearsal. The Oscars would never. And if the Oscars said that, then I'd do it, but that would never happen. But they certainly let Chris Rock do it, so honestly it's probably best for Ricky to stay away from the mic and the show, as he might get a little controversial if he was invited." Number 3. Chris Brown. Back in 2022, Chris Brown revealed the reason behind him not attending any award shows anytime soon, and that's because the Academy has banned him from being in attendance to any type of show going forward. The R&B superstar revealed that he's been banned from award shows, and he even made a revelation about it while he was sharing a video to his Instagram from one of his concerts in New Mexico, saying that he would have quit the industry a long time ago if it wasn't for his fans. But do you even have a lot of fans left to begin with? Despite his ability to sell out concerts not in Canada or America, may I add, not only will the Academy not let him attend the ceremony, but he is also not allowed to perform due to his violent behavior. Let's face it, he only got a Grammy nomination this year, not because his album was popping off, it was because the Grammys didn't want to deal with his wild outbursts from the star if he didn't receive a nomination in the first place, because the world still isn't over what he did to Rihanna and the other woman following. Number 2. Quentin Tarantino. When news broke that Quentin Tarantino convinced Uma Thurman into driving an unsafe car during the filming of Kill Bill, which resulted in a crash, the director would soon call it the biggest regret of his life. Soon after, reports soon started to come saying not only that, but that he also spat on Thurman during filming, and he even had a pretty physical altercation with her, and it said he also did the same thing to Diane Kruger in a scene in Inglourious Basterds. And with it, many people started to question whether it was time to cancel Quentin Tarantino or just not include him in the Oscars. Even with his film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood being very controversial, it provoked considerable unease as it would take on the gruesome subject following the passing of Sharon Tate, among others who fell into the hands of the Manson family. His interest in violence against women is just so strange and unusual, and by celebrating it, it would just be wrong. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Seth MacFarlane. If you watched the Oscars back in 2013, then you know the whole night was just a total call-off. Now, to have Seth MacFarlane host the Oscars, it was pretty shocking to begin with due to his animated show being pretty controversial. The Academy should have known that the night would have been pretty controversial to begin with. But with saying that, I don't think any of us saw the show being turned into complete misogyny after Seth decided he was going to prove that he could sing in his opening number. But with it, he did it in such a controversial way, as the comedian went on to showcase the most misogynistic song in history that he called "We Saw Your Chest," which named actresses who have stripped down for on-screen roles, mentioning every female from Meryl Streep to Naomi Watts. He also went on to enlist an entire choir of men to join in the rousing chorus. And if you caught the show, then you know Charlize Theron's face said it all when the cameras panned over to her and you could see her unimpressed face as she hid with her hand. To make matters even worse, he made jokes about women getting sick so they could get into shape for the awards show, as well as making Chris Brown and Rihanna jokes, which just wasn't cool, let's face it. Well, you know, that's it for this video, my little peaches. Just a reminder, I'm your host, Stacey Taylor, and until the next video, remember to stay juicy.